Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. This is our third lecture about communicative language teaching, and today we are going to talk about the experience. Okay, what are the activities that the teacher and the students have done in the experience? The experience, the students, in this class, they are immigrant in Canada, and they are 20 students, and they have spent 2 years in Canada. Okay, so the first activity in this lecture is reading. So the teacher greets the class and distributes a handout. There's writing on both sides. On one side is a copy of a sport column from a recent newspaper. The reporter discussing the last World Cup competition. So the first thing, the teacher gives them a handout where there is a written on both sides, and the teacher asks them to read and to underline the first thing, to read the article and to underline the predictions the reporter makes about the next World Cup. Okay? He gives them the direction in the target language. The teacher always and the students should use always the target language. This is an important point in the communicative language teaching, that students always and the class should always use the target language. When they finished, the students read what they have underlined. Okay? When they finish reading and underlining the prediction, the students have to read, and the teacher will write these prediction or these statements on the board, and then they will discuss these prediction. So this is the first activity. Start with reading, underlining the prediction. Then the students will read what they have underlined. The teacher will write them on the board, and the class will discuss these prediction. And another important point that they have used the target language always. The second activity is paraphrasing. The teacher asks the students to look at the first sentence and to tell the class another way to express the same prediction. What is paraphrasing? Paraphrasing is to say the same thing with different words, to use different words to express the same idea. For example, here we have the statement, France is very likely to win the next World Cup. How we can say it, or how we can express the meaning in different ways on different words. France probably will win the next World Cup, or France is almost certain to win the World Cup. Another statement, Spain can win if they play as well as they have lately. It's possible that Spain will win the World Cup. There is a possibility that Spain will win. Okay, so we can express the meaning or convey the meaning with different words, and this is called paraphrasing. Okay, this is the second activity. Then they move to the third activity, which is open discussion. The teacher asks students if they agree with the reporter prediction, and here they have to express their own ideas, their own opinion, and it's a very important opportunity for students to practice their language, to communicate, to interact in the target language when they express if they are agree or disagree with the reporter predictions. He also asked them to get into pairs and to work with and to write their own prediction about who will win. When they discuss the portal prediction, the teacher asks them to get into pair, to work in a group of 2, and to write their own prediction about the next World Cup. So it's here open discussion and writing their own ideas, their own opinion about the next World Cup. Language game. The third or the fourth activity, the teacher announced that the students will be playing a game. He divided the class into a small group of 5. Always the teacher divide the class into groups when they work in these activities. He hands each group a deck of 13 cards. Each card has a picture of a piece of sport equipment. Okay, so the students have to predict, have to think about what is the card, what is on the card, what is the equipment, what's the type of sport on the card, and the teacher will write the name of the sport on the board, and they will discuss these later. Okay, so this is the language game, and the students divided in two groups, and they work always in a group. And we said what is the importance of dividing the class into groups, because they will communicate, because students achieve their task by cooperating with other students. So with other students will communicate, interact, and use the target language. After that, they move to another activity, production. The teacher reads a number of production like the following. By 2030, solar energy will replace the words reliance on fossil fuel. By 2050, people will living on the moon. The students are told to make statements about how probable they think. Okay, the predictions, and the prediction as and why they believe so. They are also asked how they feel about prediction. Okay, the students asked about their feeling. The feeling that we are didn't, or it's not dealt with in the previous methods, in the grammar translation method, direct method, audiolingual method, the feeling is not dealt with, but here in this method is important because it gives the students opportunity to talk, to use the target language. So the teacher asks them their own opinion or ideas, and to express their feeling about the prediction that she stated here. In discussing one of the prediction, a student says he does not think it's like that a world government will be in a place by the 22nd century. Okay, the students make an error, a mistake here in this statement, but the teacher and the other students ignore this his error. Why that? Why ignoring the mistakes or the error? Because fluency is more important than accuracy when they work on activities. So the most important thing, students to communicate, to interact, to use the target language, and the accuracy or the errors and mistakes, the teacher will come to them later after when they finish the activities. Okay, so here the most important thing is fluency rather than accuracy. Then we move to another activity, picture strip story. The teacher divide the class, always the teacher divide the class into groups, and here group of 3. One member of each group is given a picture strip story. Okay, one of them is given this picture strip story. There are 6 pictures in a column on a piece of paper, but no word. This picture, there's no word on these pictures to explain what is going on or what's happening in this picture. The picture tells a story, and these 6 pictures tell a story. The students with the story show the first picture to the other members of her group, while covering the remaining 5 pictures. Okay, so the students with the picture will show the first picture and hiding the other pictures. Okay, only the first picture, and ask them to predict what is going on, what will happen in the next picture, in the second picture. Okay, and they will express their ideas, their opinion about what is going on, what will happen in the other pictures. Okay, then the students with the picture will tell them if they correct or not, and explain what is going on in the first picture, and then will show the second picture, and then when they see the second picture, or when the student show them the second picture, they have to predict what will happen in the third picture, and so on. So this is the activity picture strip story. It's based on communicating, on using the target language, okay, and it's based on group work. One of them show them the picture, and the other group member will predict what will happen in the next picture, and so on. Then they move to role play. The teacher tell them to get into group of 4. Here they also work in group of 4. They are to imagine that they are all employees in one company. One of them is their boss. They are having a meeting to discuss what will possibly occur as a result of their company merging with another company. So the class is divided into four group. One of the group member, one of the four students in the same group, one of them is their boss. And they have a meeting, okay, to discuss the possibly occur, or what will occur when their company merge with another company. عندما تندمج شركتهم with another company مع شركة أخرى. Okay, they have to discuss these points, whether or not some of the people in their company will lose their job, whether or not they will have to move to another place, okay, whether or not certain policies will change, okay, the company policies will change, whether or not they will earn more money, okay. So these are the things they have to discuss as a group, or as group members or employees in one company. And always the teacher remind them, remember that one of you is your boss. The teacher remind them about this point and why it's important. What do you think? Because they have here, the teacher remind them about the use of the language when they talk to their boss. They have to use official language. They have to use more polite language, and it's different when they talk to each other as employees in one company or as colleagues or friends. What is the role of the teacher in this activity, or in the different activities? The teacher always move from group to group to answer questions and offer any advice on what the group can discuss. So the teacher not only observing from far away from the group, but he always answer questions, offer advice, and work as co-communicator, can sit with them and help them to start their discussion, okay, and to answer their questions and offer advice about their discussion. The last activity is the homework assignment, and the students are asked to find out what they can about two political candidates running against each other in the upcoming elections. So the teacher give them this topic to write about, which is two candidates running about each other. They have to predict who will win in the next election, okay. And then when in the next lecture, these students will read their prediction, what they have written about these two candidates, to the class, okay. So this is also the assignment. It's about prediction, and they will of course they will use what they have learned in this lecture about prediction to write their own ideas or their own feeling about these two candidates who they run against each other. Okay, to sum up what we have discussed, what is the most important thing on the experience, the activities they have practiced: reading, paraphrasing, open discussion, language game, production, picture strip story, role play, and homework assignment. All these activities they have done in this experience. And the most important thing, they always use the target language. The teacher and the students always use the target language. No native language, no other language is allowed in the communicative language teaching. And another important thing is the group work. The students always work in groups, and group work is very important because students achieve their task in cooperating with other students. So language, target languages only allowed in the class, and the group work is the dominant strategy when the teacher uses communicative language teaching. Yes, this is our lecture for today. So thank you and hope you all the best. Thank you.